Today we will be making over this dated bathroom cabinet for just $20 on Hey Mom! My daughter did not like the cabinet in her guest bath. She likes the modern country farmhouse look. She thought this was dated and dark, and she thought the top was yellowing and disgusting, in her words. I told her I might be able to make it over with things I already had. So I had the crud cutter and liquid sandpaper, also some primer. I purchased some light gray remnant paint for $9 at Home Depot. I had some polyacrylic left over from a previous project, along with my tools, my drill, my scissors, a box cutter, some paint brushes. The only thing that she would have to purchase is the peel and stick countertop in marble that she wanted, and I was able to find that on Amazon for $7. With that, it was time to refurbish this old cabinet. My first recommendation is do not remove the doors like this, because this will happen. Maybe take it off from the bottom up. No worries, because this happened while I was close to the floor, and I'm glad that I learned this lesson before I tackled the kitchen cabinets.
So here's the thing. Whoever shellacked this shellacked over the hinge. So even though the screws are out, it's basically stuck on there. So rather than risk ripping the wood, I'm going to have to come up with a different plan for painting it. I think I'll probably just paint the fronts and avoid the hinge altogether. Do not shellac over your hinges. All right, I'm not removing this. What I'm gonna do here is wrap it in foil, and that'll protect it. This is how I cover the knob. This is the straw that can't be removed. I taped around the bottom, and then I put foil on it. Another thing I want to show is all the screws. All the screws and hardware that I used is in a little snack bag, so there's no chance of it being lost. I'm going to just put it inside the cabinet while I'm working. Won't get damaged, won't get lost.
At the time I bought this liquid sandpaper, it was in lieu of buying TSP. I have since bought TSP because I didn't see as great results as I felt I wanted to, but you can see here that it definitely does clean this cabinet. It's supposed to degloss it though. I'm not sure if it really did that to the extent I wanted it to. I'll say it that way. So I did wind up sanding these with an electric sander, but you probably don't have to, especially with the primer that I was using. I figured this was the side that you were going to see while you're sitting on the bowl, and I wanted it to look nice. So I did the side and the doors.
Cool. Esther wanted me to see what you were doing because she was too nervous.
She was like, ah!
Yeah. It's okay, Lucy. Oh, good girl.
Scared doggy. You scared? Did it scare you?
Yes, but she's better. She's very brave.
Yes, Dasher is very brave. Okay, time for primer.
Just trying to do a very light coat of primer here.
So when I covered up the knob, I also put painter's tape around the walls and on the floor just to keep everything neat, and these would stay there for the duration of my paint job. So this is what it looked like after a light coat of primer. Although I despise painting, I really do love how each coat makes it look so much better.
So I'm using a little of this polyacrylic clear satin. We're gonna just paint this. Holy collapse, Batman. Okay? Okay. Let's try. Just giving it a layer, maybe two. Nice clear coat. Now, I'm going to have to touch up these hinges a little bit, but I just wanted to get some of this clear coat on. See these hinges? I'm going to touch them up in white. So, I'll do the doors, I'll do the bottom, and then I'm going to touch it up with some one more thing of clear coat after I'm done. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So yes, this is really coming together after a couple of clear coats. It really was starting to look more modern, which is exactly what my daughter wanted. How about some paint peeling action? Now, most of the paint did come off pretty well. There was an area where I had to touch it up, along with the hinges, stationary knob. That didn't really work out too well. I could have just painted around the knob, but other than that, it was looking pretty good. I took care of the hinges, I took care of all the other touch-ups, and the bottom part was basically done. Now it was time to work on the top.
Okay, so first up, cleaning with some glass cleaner. And I'm also kind of chipping away at the old putty.
So yes, the first thing I did was remove all of the caulk from around the sink. I will be replacing this in the end.
My recommendation is to sketch everything out before you cut. I got approximations of all of the dimensions of the sink and what I need. I don't foresee there being any major differences, but I have, the good news is I have plenty. I bought this from Amazon for $6.99. I do believe there are better brands, but for $6.99, look at how much I get, and I can use it for crafting afterwards. So I'm very happy about that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these pieces cut out, and then we're gonna put them in and see how that turns out. And hopefully my measurements are pretty much okay. So these come with these grids on the back. Since this is from China, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this grid is in centimeters. Why didn't I think of that? I could have easily did it in centimeters. Okay, that's fine. For the record, I do feel that the metric system is a much better way to measure things, opposed to what we do, which is the imperial system. But most people have not learned that, so basically, like sewing, I do have a little bit of a seam allowance, because the idea with this is you want to have a little overlap. That's how you get the nice seamless look, and that's also how you keep it as contained as possible. All right, so this looks good.
I didn't have a small enough squeegee to smooth the surface of the peel and stick counter. So what I did was take a putty knife, a plastic putty knife, and I took a piece of soft material and wrapped it with the material and then taped it. I later used that to smooth it because that won't cut into the surface. Although I had a lot of materials, I made a big mistake early on. This is very, very sticky, and if you misplace it, it will be ruined. It will pucker and you will not have enough material. I ran out of materials, so this is a project I'm probably going to redo when I visit my daughter again. I was able to finish the project, but some of the cuts are a little bit weird and janky. I'll be doing it again.
Progress is being made. We're going to continue. This is where I'm at right now. I'm going to smooth out some of these bubbles and pop them, and then I'm going to caulk it. I have some DAP. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
I caulked all along the rim of the sink. I also caulked where the peel and stick met the wall, and also the corners. That just made it look very professional. And with that, I was done. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It looks modern, it looks fresh. This was the last piece of me remodeling or updating my daughter's guest bathroom. I will put together a summary video. Thank you for staying until the end, and if you are inspired by our craft videos, please hit the like button. If our DIYs motivate you to do it yourself, please consider subscribing to Hey Ma. Until the next video, bye.